doing activity 4.2, analyzing a quadratic model and its inverse. Arlen City Police Department is offering special classes for interested high school students this summer. I also decided to enroll in an introductory forensic science class. On the first day, Dr. Suarez tells Eliza's class that crime scenes often involve speeding vehicles which leave skid marks on the road as evidence. Taking into account the road surface, weather conditions, percent grade of road, the vehicle type they use, this function, f of s equals 0.034s squared plus 0.96s minus 26.6. To determine the length and speed of the skid marks left by a vehicle based on its speed. Complete the table based on f of s. Label the column titles with the independent and dependent quantities and units. Okay, so let's go ahead and complete the table. So we're going to go to Desmos. I'm going to go to Scientific Calculator. And let's go ahead and put the function in. So 0.034 s squared plus 0.96 s minus 26.6. Now it says error, but watch what happens when I press enter. I'm going to go ahead and do s equals 25. And ta-da, there's your first number. Okay, now all I have to do is change the number to 30. And then change that to 45. Change that to 55. All right, there's your table. Go ahead and complete that. All right, number 2. According to the table, what are the domain and range dispositions? So the domain is the smallest to the largest in this case. Okay, so the smallest number is from 25 to 110, and the smallest is 18 to 490.4. Okay, go ahead and complete the domain and range. All right, graph the table values and sketch the graph FS on the grid. So we're going to have to approximate 25, which is somewhere around here, 18, and then 30, 32, which again is might as well be the same. They're just so close together since we're approximating. 45, which is here. 85, we're getting closer to the 100. 55, which is about right here. We're getting to 129, so somewhere around there. And then 60, 153, which is about right here. Again, we're just approximating. 75, which is right here. 236. 90 is 335. 100, which is about here. And then 110. Here, 490, somewhere around here. Okay. All right, go ahead and finish that up. And we're actually going to connect the points. Curve like so. There's no arrows because we're going from here to here, okay? All right, let's take a look at the next page. All right. During another class period, Dr. Suarez takes Elsa's class to a mock crime scene to collect evidence. One piece of evidence is a skid mark that is 300 feet long. Determine the exact speed of the vehicle that creates a skid mark. Show your work. The car is traveling at. So, what we're going to do is we're going to go to Desmos. Now, we need to graph the equation. So, graphing calculator. So, 0.034. We're going to use x squared plus 0.96x minus 26.6. Now, we need to adjust the window. And to do that, we're going to use 0 to 120, 0 to 400. Okay? All right. So, tools here. 0 to 120 and 0 to, let's go 500, just play it safe. Okay, so now here we go. And what I need to do is graph y equals 300, and ta-da, there is your distance. And we're going to round that to a whole number. So the car was traveling at 85 miles per hour. Okay. Now, zoom out a little bit so we can get this whole graph in here. Find the inverse function that Elsa can use to determine the speed of a vehicle given the length of a skid mark you created. In your description, include the information about the independent and dependent variables and the domain and range of this problem situation. So here we have these numbers. So it's 18.65, 32.80, 85.45, 129.05. Now, for the inverse, you switch these values. So then this becomes 25, 30, 45, 55, 60, 75, 90, 100, and 110. And this becomes now we're going to use regression using these points to find the equation. So we're going to go to Desmos, graphing calculator, statistics, linear regression, open graph, remove points. The inverse of a quadratic is square root. So we need to do of bx. Okay. And then we're going to plug in the values. So being careful to put these in correctly. One error in a decimal or number could cause problems in your solution. All right, and then we can zoom out. And there's a slight problem with our regression equation. I think. Oh, x1. There we go. You have to remember that it's not x, it's x to the 1. Now, you can see that this, for the most part, goes through all the points. The r squared is very close to 1. Since we know the regression square root, the regression, or the inverse of a quadratic square root, this is correct. So our b value is 24.3. So our inverse equation is the square root of 24.3x. Okay, go ahead and finish that up. All right. Predict what you think the graph of the new function will look like and sketch the graph on the grid shown. Okay. So we have our inverse is the square root of 24.3x, which we have our points. Well, actually, no, we need to get those points. We need to graph it. So let me just add another tab just in case we need to go back to that regression. Graphing calculator of 24.3 to the x. And we need to adjust our window. So from 0 to 500. And from 0 to, let's just go 150 just to be safe, okay? All right, let's see if we can find some points along the way. $30.27. Let's see if we can find something on the 50. $50.35. Let's do that point. And let's go to 100. Let's see what that point looks like. I get real close. 100, 49. And let's go to the next thing. Let's go to 200, see what that point looks like. That's 270. And let's go to 300. Looks like 385. And then and 400. 499. All right, so we have our points. So I'll give you a few seconds to plot your points. All right, and then we know it starts at 0. It's going to go through the points. It's going to look like that. Technically. All right. Now, teacher works 7A and students work 7B and 7C. So all you have to do, it says use a graph to estimate the car speed before stopping for each given skid mark. Really, you don't need that part. All you have to do is plug in this number into the equation. Okay? So we can go to Desmos, and we can change the x times 50, and we'll get that number. Oh, need the 0. So that would be okay. And then you would do the same thing for 175 and 350. So go ahead and finish that up. All right, let's take a look at the next page. Student works 1, 2, and 3, and 4. You might go ahead and write that down. That should help with the questions. All right, let's take a look at the next page. All right, student works 1D, 1E, 1F, 1G, and 1I. And then go and mark out what I've marked out. All right, let's take a look at the next page. And then, honestly, I could have just gone like that, but mark out 274, start working on your assignment, and have a wonderful Wildcat day.